What's up, everybody? I'm Coach Kristy Rose Follmar, retired professional women's fighter, world champion, Boxing Hall of Fame for Indiana. And I'm here today with Franchesca, the chosen one, Alcanter. Thank you so much for joining us. She is actually somebody that we went to battle together back in 2004. Yeah, 2004. She's got a record of 19 wins with 9 KO. 10 losses. She's been around for a long time. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. The purpose of this Zoom interview is, there's a lot of controversy spinning around right now with women's Olympics and now boxing in the Olympics in general. And those of us who have fought each other in the women's boxing world, it's a small world. So a lot of us are good friends. And I was starting to see a lot of good opinions and thoughts from people that run the same circle. And I thought it would be cool to just get on a Zoom and talk about our history, talk about our experience, maybe talk about our opinions about what's going on with boxing in the Olympics right now. But really the main goal is to kind of tell our story of why boxing was so pivotal in our lives and who it's made us today because of that experience. So Franchesca, thank you so much for joining me today. Just want to ask you, what was the reason that you responded to my message? You were the first one to respond to do this interview. So what fired you up to do that?
Well, to be honest, when I have people that I fought and we're still friends, like there's like a big bond. And when there's messages back and forth and the same feelings and interests in what we do today, it's kind of, I want to be there to help support you as well. I've just got mixed emotions about this whole thing with the boxing, uninformed information to start with. And it seems that the people who didn't ever box, ever step in the ring, has a lot of opinions, and they're on the more negative side. Us, regardless of where we were in our careers or who we fought, like we're kind of in the same, on the more positive and very supportive of everything that's going on. Now, would some of these situations be legitimately fair if it were us? And this is something that's new, that's popped up into the world, the sport, somewhat new for us to have to think about what would we really do. I fought people that I swear I'm getting ready. I'm warming up and I'm like, where's my opponent? Oh, she's right over there. I'm like, oh, that's not a girl. I fought some people that they hit like a man. I hit like a man too. But it just, how are you going to separate, who's going to be able to fight or not fight? Would we disqualify the girls who had beat?
Yeah, had they done some of this testing while we fought?
Names and pronouncing names, but yeah, there's just a lot of how are we gonna resolve this in the future to just X out of the Olympics altogether?
It's crazy. It's sad to think that that's a possibility. And one thing I loved about what you said was, back in our day, we fought in the late 90s, 2000s, even into the 2000 teens. And there wasn't a whole lot of regulation back then. I 100% agree with you. There were some women, I found out later, were doping. There were women in there who were just stacked and, more stacked than you are right now, which is hard to believe. But I'm like, I train every day. How did these women get to that point? So it's very unregulated. But also, we were at an age where women's boxing was in the Olympics was not an opportunity for us yet. So we kind of had to go pro or stay in the amateurs where there's no money, there's no, get to the pros was the advancement, was the top that we could get to. I would have loved to stay in the amateurs if we had the opportunity to fight in the Olympics, but it wasn't in our time. So can you take us back through like what made you decide to start boxing? What kept you into it? And just take us through amateur through pro. Like what was that career? What was that like for you?
So growing up, I was raised really poor, 7 kids in a 1-bedroom house. I was made fun of being poor. I was being bullied a lot in school, but first time I actually stood up to myself and fought back. I beat up the bully who was bullying me, and then all of a sudden I was looked at as, wow, will you be my butter? So I like that feeling. So I established that. And every time, first day I went to a new school, I found out whoever the bully of the school was, which was always a boy, and I beat him up I beat him up on the playground, like beat up the bullies in school, and that was kind of like my, and I played all sports. I was very good at all the sports that I've ever played. My uncles and my grandfather and my uncles were professional boxers in the 30s. Growing up, I mean, kind of knew about that, but it wasn't something that was really talked about a lot. So in boxing, fighting has always been kind of part of me. I did the topsy-turvy. I started doing a swimsuit contest. Well, so to backtrack, I mean, I always had a dream of volleyball was my thing. I wanted to be a professional volleyball player, and I was going to, go to the Olympics for volleyball, and that was my major sport. After high school, I wanted to, like, my goal in life was always to just work out and make money. How am I going to work out and make money? Because that's what I love to do. I love to work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be a gym teacher because, you got to basically you have to go to school for 4 years to make, 30,000 a year. Right. Gym aerobics instructor. I don't really like talking while I'm doing my hard cardio stuff. So that was like kind of out. And so I do fitness competition and stuff like that is kind of something, will be in a cover of a magazine, just something to work out, make money. Also just kind of like to prove to those that I was made fun of when I was a kid, that look at me now kind of thing, Yeah. I was a Hawaiian Tropic beauty queen. I won swimsuit contest, and it wasn't me. It was a total opposite. I ended up developing eating disorders, just to maintain, just to be that, physique of being skinny model type. I was always very muscular growing up, athletic built, and it just wasn't me. I wanted to get back to my roots, and I was a round card girl for boxing events, and I just, like, every time I just wanted to get in there. I was like, I would rather be in there fighting than holding a round card. So in around that, I knew a lot of people, boxing promoters and managers, and I was taking this boxing class at the gym that I trained at, because I just, I needed some pinned up aggression to let my frustrations out. Plus also, hey, I could fight, as a kid. By the way, boxing is totally different. It's not like a fight on the street. Okay?
It's not, guys.
Get to that. But I was dominating in that gym, in that class, and manager, promoter approached me and said, you'd be pretty good at boxing. I was like, I know I would. And, so it's like, it was like, okay, this modeling thing wasn't working, but this is I'm back to my roots.
Back to your roots. Yep.
Where I'm like, this is what I used to do, and why not take advantage of it? And also, as far as the family line goes, I'm the 70 years later, the only person ever to carry the boxing legacy for my family was me, the chosen one. So that's why I call my name.
Cool. Thanks. I was going to ask about that.
And the only one in 70 years for boxing to carry the legacy on.
That's cool.
So my very first fight, I'm fighting at Terre Haute, Indiana, and it was I was the first woman ever fight in Terre Haute, Indiana. Headlines: beauty queen turned boxer to make Terre Haute history. So because I was known as Miss Hawaiian Tropic, everybody was like, oh, let's want to watch her fight, And so it was more of a spectacle kind of thing, put people's butts in the seats. Guys want to see, cute girls, whatever. But I actually, had something there that sparked even more of an interest. And
Probably the best fight of the night, in addition to being, Hawaiian
but
Tropic beauty queen.
I actually that's a pro. I only had one amateur fight.
Mhm.
It was a tough man contest. And while I was going tough man contest, I was reading the Ring magazine, 1999. Ike Corte and De La Hoya was on the cover of the magazine, The Ring. The back had the rankings in 1936, and I see my grandpa's name, number 10 in the world. And that was
Nuh-uh.
don't chicken out. That's what gave me the
Wow.
not chicken out, because I could have, easily, but that was that to me was my destiny, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing, no matter how hard, no matter what. Boxing was the toughest sport that it challenged me. It was times where, like, when I first started sparring, Mary Ortega, Samaya Nani, they were world champions. I never got anybody for me to be able to beat up. It was like I was beat up all during my sparring sessions.
Yeah,
Sometimes
we didn't have options for sparring partners back then. And
but
yeah,
I was,
unless it were
but
men or that.
I had the best, um, 4-time world champions to spar with. So that gave me, even some more drive, to prove just because I'm a pretty girl doesn't mean I'm getting certain opportunities. I feel like I had to actually train harder and prove myself that I'm worthy, and anybody knows that if you can go into a boxing gym and train for just 1 week and come back, that, there's something there. So,
Would you say you had like any specific mentors or people that have been consistent through your boxing career that kept you going, that were a sport to you? Or do you feel like it was always inside of you? Kind of who was your why? Or was it just something that was inside of you and you kept moving around? Talk about that.
it's definitely something that was inside of me. And of course, seeing, people, women who were in the sport and getting more recognized, that was like, somebody's doing better than me. I want to be, I want to, I'm not going to be jealous. I mean, I want to praise them and, like, go for it, go. That's where I want to be. So, my fifth fight of my career, I get this opportunity to fight at the Playboy Mansion on ESPN Friday Night Fights. It's only my fifth fight. So this is like my chance to, like, okay, the world's gonna really see me now. So I'm training my ass off now. Um, but the only reason I got that fight is because, I had lost to a previous opponent that Mia St. John had won against. And so she figured I would be an easy target to have somebody that, to beat. But yeah, I lost that fight basically because it was my first fight in my hometown, and I ran out of gas. And it was so humbling, so embarrassing for me to, like, first time fighting in my hometown and to, like, basically lose from technical not quitting. It was very, it was
It's
something
very
for me.
humbling. Yeah.
You fall, it's either, you get back up. Boxing can make you or break you. And it definitely made me after, just didn't give up.
Yeah, we fought several people in common. We both fought Mia St. John. Um, we both fought Kim Colbert, who, oh my God, she was one of the toughest girls I ever fought. I got to tell you that. And we both fought Liz Drew, very respectable fighter. She also is going to be doing this interview next Tuesday, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Great gal. But yeah, Mia, I have mad respect for her as a fighter, as a person. I didn't know anything about her when I got that call to fight Mia. And it was my third pro fight. I had a fairly successful small amateur career and was coming in on 2 wins, both of those wins by knockout. And it was a 3-day notice fight. And my coach was and this was down at a casino in Mississippi. And I had fought maybe a month before, so I was still in fight shape and had been waiting for my next fight. And I really didn't care. I was hungry at that point. I didn't care about this chick's record. I didn't care that she was, all over the internet. My coach had faith in me. He said, I think you could take this girl. I've been watching her tapes. We need to go down there. You're not going to win this fight. You're not going to win this fight unless you knock this girl out because she's got the reputation. This is, she's co-main event. So that was a huge challenge for me. And to be on Fox Sport Net for my third fight, that was like everybody who knew I was transitioning to professional boxing was going to watch me on Sunday night fights. And so I wanted to win that fight so bad. And it was very controversial. We went all 4 rounds, and I'm told over and over again that I probably, if you took the stats out of it and the known versus the unknown, should have got the win. So it still pisses me off to this day.
Yeah.
But, you got to look at those adversities as opportunities. After I won that fight, then we started to get opportunities to fight women. You were one of the people that came up, and, you have to kind of build a record to get to a point where you're fighting women at a caliber where I wanted to be and probably where you wanted to be. So the controversy and the loss around that fight with Mia actually took my career to a different level. So I'm really grateful for it in a way. But yeah, that's funny. Women's boxing is so, my coach used to always tell me, you have to start dressing a little bit sexier. Yeah, I like came in with, my amateur black trunks, and I didn't care. I was letting my hair fall all over the place. That wasn't even a thing. I didn't realize till the Mia fight where, we were standing toe to toe and she's wearing sparkly pink and mascara and makeup. I was like, is she for real? All right. So I had to, kind of step up in my own tomboy way, keep the long hair but yeah, I mean, it was always, my promoter always said, it's looks that are going to sell the fight, but then you go in there and fight like a man, and all of a sudden you're the fight of the night. And I really believe that our generation of fighters, we were lucky to have Christy Martin set the stage, Ann Wolfe, Eva Young Jones, a lot of beautiful, amazing fighters came through before us. But we started to have a bigger group, I think, and social media was just starting to play a role. And this was before the Olympics, but I really do believe that our generation of fighters has really brought women's boxing up to the spotlight. And of course, a lot of women transitioned into UFC. There's a lot more money there. That's a whole other story, but man, it was fun. I mean, and by the way, folks, I mean, none of us got rich doing this. We fought for the love of the sport. I mean, none of us made a whole lot of money doing this. I mean, I was lucky to buy a new bike. That was like one of my big wins for one of my fights was I bought myself a new bicycle with my fight money. Um, so let me go back to some questions for you. So we've retired. Obviously, we didn't get the shot at the Olympics, but how has your experience in professional boxing, how does it shape who you are today as a grown woman, as a professional in the world, as a mother, as a grandmother? How has boxing helped you to be who you are today?
Boxing has given me the discipline that I have in all aspects of my life. I think without, the boxing, it allowed me to be able to travel different parts of the world, to meet amazing people that I would have never been able to meet before. The coaches and all the training and different types of given me more tools and knowledge to be able to be the movement specialist I am today. I'm a personal trainer, a movement specialist. And if I didn't, so I put together pretty much everything that I did, the routines, the discipline, my nutrition, getting prepared, just gaining weight, losing weight, repetition, the consistency, the routine, having, accountability, all of those things have empowered me to be who I am today.
That's awesome.
Hasn't been a lot of ups and downs and lots of challenges, like life is a fight, life fight itself, and so obstacles have come to my life, and after my boxing career, there was a lot of, it was really tough. It was hard for me to, like, what am I going to do with my life now, so there was some downtime there trying to figure out you know, what am I going to do with this? And it all come together, but yeah, I miss it. I miss the adrenaline. I miss, you know, getting prepared for a
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
So it, there's a part of me that's missing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, I mean, boxing is 100% helped me through my career after, after college, and the discipline, the accountability, the relationships with coach, and just learning how just the metaphor of standing back up, getting knocked down in whatever capacity in life, and being able to stand back up and fight again, brush yourself off, go back to the corner, take a deep breath, reorganize, and continue the fight. Keep moving forward, as Rocky says. Oh my gosh. I mean, and these kinds of life lessons and experiences that we've gained with our fight career is exactly what I want to teach the people in the world about why it's so important to keep the Olympics a part of boxing for women and now and for men. I mean, I cannot believe you're thinking about taking this away, because now there is an opportunity for both men and women, as young adults, as even teenagers, um, to want to get involved in boxing. And I feel like taking it away from the Olympics might make it a dying sport, if you will. I mean, I think it was Mike Tyson that said, that you're never going to see a rich kid in a boxing gym. It's kids that come off the street. It's kids that can't afford soccer shoes. It's kids that can't afford hockey sticks and skates. It's kids that come in off the streets because they have issues. And making it to the Olympics, not all these kids are going to make it to the professional level, but if they have the opportunity to make it to that platform, it's life changing. And we have to somehow get the IOC, International Olympic Commission, to understand from boxers' perspectives how important this is for young adults. And so that's why this is so important. I mean, if you take the politics out of it, yes, even before the 24 Olympics started, there was controversy with Russian boxers and doping. Now you throw in the mix the fact that they took headgear away from the men, and they allowed some professional fighters in the men's divisions, and all three of those men won gold. I thought this was supposed to be an amateur sport. And then you throw in the XY chromosome on top of that and all that controversy. It just seems like that's some of the commission's fault, I believe. But don't take this opportunity away from the fighters. And I'd love
Absolutely.
to hear your thoughts about that.
A child has a dream to go to the Olympics. I mean, that's like that's a major goal, and to not that. So yeah, what do you do? And it crushes dreams. Like, it's taken away.
Yeah.
No matter what, if I was going to tell somebody, what kind of words of wisdom I would, don't let what the world is trying to do deframe you. You keep doing what you're doing, and
Yeah.
if you stop, who knows? I mean, at the last minute, it could come right back. And if you continue to keep fighting the fight, that opportunity will come, hopefully. And if it doesn't, something else will happen because of dedication that the person that they're putting into the work that they're putting into. I don't think anything that you work hard for is just going to go unnoticed.
Right. And I think these stories are important because the world, unless they have been involved in boxing in some capacity, don't really understand the ins and outs of it and where some of us have come from, which is a lot of us from nothing, a lot of us from trauma, a lot of us from, places of real adversity. And there's so much controversy, even in professional fighting. And now there's controversy around Olympic boxing, and we got to bring the positive of what this sport can do for people back up to the forefront. And so that's why I hope that these interviews with at least some of these women can make a difference. And we don't know where it's going to go, but your opinions matter, your story matters. You're being vulnerable by telling your story. So I thank you for that.
Boxing is one of the only sports there's a few others, but is nobody makes fun of that. You know, you're looked up to, you gain confidence, respect for yourself. When a lot of fighters, I mean, we all have a story. We all have a backstory. We didn't just get in there because everything was just roses and,
Gonna
smelling
make
pretty.
us rich or gonna get us to the Olympics. Yeah, we fell in love with it for different reasons.
There's a reason why, and every fighter has a story, and that most people wouldn't even know. But it's given individuals like myself and so many others that I know an outlet to have like peace with whatever that they've dealt with, and to have more confidence in themselves, more integrity, more
Absolutely. Yeah, all of it. Just
hard on others. When you feel good about yourself, you don't have to put others down.
right.
You know,
Well, and boxers, I think, and I'm sure you agree, are some of the most humble, laid back people you've ever met. You would think we walk around like we just want to kick everybody's ass. Not
oh,
because we get it out in the ring and we learn how to respect our opponent. I read this quote. I was looking at some of the recent controversy over Iman Khalif. I hope I'm saying her name right. We only have about 5 minutes left in this, but I read something that her opponent said. The girl who dropped out at 46 seconds. Um, she said the resulting controversy about this has made her so sad. And I quote, "I don't have anything against Khalif. Actually, if I were to meet her again, I would embrace her." And I thought, this is the kind of sportsmanship, especially in women's boxing, that people don't know about. My coach used to always get in my face before the fight at the weigh-ins. I'd always go over. I remember meeting you, like, "Hi, I'm Rose, and nice to meet you." And he would always say stuff like, "Why do you have to become best friends with these people? You're about to fight them." And then afterwards, we go out for a beer together, or whatever. It's like, because I respect this person, and we're still all good friends. Just because we fought each other, like, that's a mutual respect. Only the two of us understood that moment. You were the only person across the ring for me that night who understood the training and the losing the weight and the weigh-ins and the dedication to that. I had mad respect for you. Why wouldn't I want to get to know you afterwards and become friends? And we're seeing this again, and I hope that women's boxing can lift up the sport in this way and show the human side of it.
I don't know any fighter that just hates each other. I mean, you fight, you respect each other, man. You
Yeah.
give each other. I've just never seen one before where they
Especially
hate
for
each
women. I mean, I can't say the same thing about all male fighters. I think a lot of that's just being men, but I know with our group of women and these last couple of decades, there's no there's no grievance, there's no negativity. We're just like watching what each other does as we continue to age and mother and grandmother and become professionals, and we're like, yeah, because we get it.
I don't know what can be done, but I think it's a very good idea what you're doing, letting us women speak out what we feel. Because if we just keep our mouths closed, let them do whatever they want to do, we're just letting them do it. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But us giving our word out, a fight over, them,
100%.
just it's history. History will repeat itself. They can't just gonna come back. If they take it out further, it'll come back. It's just a matter of pushing it.
So I want to say publicly, Franchesca and I did meet in the ring. I got the win by it was a split decision. It was a close fight. She came into Indianapolis, so that's hard enough to come into 10,000 people arena that were rooting for me, but it was a tough fight. I didn't know who won it at the end of the fight, but you've seen pictures of that eye, that infamous eyeball. I want to say, I believe it was a headbutt, so it was an accident. But what happened was, coach kept telling me, "Overhand right, you got to nail that bruise," and your eye kept swelling, and I just thought it was disgusting. And I'm so sorry. That's a good fight, girl.
what it looked like at all. I knew that there was something there, but I had no idea. Don't worry about your eye. Don't worry about. Oh, with my eye.
Boxing's sick, you guys, but yeah, we came out of it good friends, and we only got a minute left here. So I just want to say thank you so much, and continue to watch what you're doing with the world and with yourself and inspiring other people. You're just an amazing person.
Awesome. You are too, Kristy. Love ya. Bye.
You too. Talk soon.
Bye.